What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Match reaction time. Damn, we threw it all away. We threw it away. But listen, guys, we're going to get into all of that. As you come in, you know the drill. Hit the like on the video. That's the best way to help the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed and share it around. I've got to mention as well, listen, usually you're not supposed to say when you've had a bad stream or when you feel you've had a bad stream, but a lot of my favorite creators do that, and they're way bigger than I am. And outside of football, lifestyle and everything else, man, my last one wasn't good. So shout out to everyone else who put in a like on the video and give comments on it. Thank you so much. Like as the saying goes, if you can't have me at my best, then you don't deserve me at my worst. No, it's the other way around. You know what I mean. You get what I mean. But listen, we're going to have a good stream here. We're going to talk about the game. We're still undefeated, but man, it just feels like we threw away 2 points in this one. Cloud Dizzle bottled it. David saying what a mess with the subs or the lack of. And this was something that I specifically gave Jesse credit for last week. I said he timed the subs to perfection. It was brilliant. It was brilliant game management by Jesse last week. He completely went the opposite today, I'm afraid. Yeah, I mean, a lot of you saying subs should have been brought on sooner. I hear you. Sean Tattershaw, we need a forward and a left back. It's sad. Listen, guys, when I was on even though the last one wasn't, don't ever go back and watch that one. I did say, because somebody said, if we've got Bamford and Gelhardt, that why do we need another striker? Why aren't we getting another one in for? This is why. It's called being proactive and not reactive. That's what you've got to be in the Premier League, because now I don't know why Gelhardt's out. I'm going to have a look as we get on in the stream. Bamford though goes off again, and I'm sorry, I said it in preseason so many times. I don't trust him, and it's not that I think he's a horrible guy. I just don't think he trusts his own body either. You could see he was trying to gingerly get on with it, but his movement, he was moving like with all due respect, he was moving like an old man. You'd never believe, I don't know if he's hit 30 yet, you would never believe that he's just touched 30 or just going to touch 30 years old. We have to get better in that department, people, and hopefully it's nothing long-term with Bamford, because he does make a bit of a difference up front. But man, it's tough. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying about Dennis, 50 million, and I think he's going for 15 or 20 million to Forest. One of those two, doesn't matter which one. That's the kind of striker we needed to get. Dennis today would have been, I'm not going to say menace, that's too easy, but Dennis would have been perfect today for Leeds United with the way we were playing. The way we had Southampton before that second half drinks break, I think Dennis would have probably slotted a couple in. I genuinely believe that too. But listen, we'll never know. It looks like he's going to Forest now. We threw that one away, people. Alzheimer saying Rasmus not convincing me so far. Listen, I said it last week, and I don't watch, I'll be honest, I don't watch Leeds content, so I can't tell you, but I just know that if Junior Firpo had the game Rasmus had last week, he would have been slaughtered. Again today, as Alzheimer said, he wasn't good today. He was one of the weak links in the team. I hope that he's going to be better as the games go by, and I genuinely believe he will be. But the first two games have been quite unconvincing on a whole when you put it in totality. It's been a bit rough to watch. I don't know how everyone else feels. Put it in the comments and put it in the live chat if you're here. And remember, please hit the like button. You guys gone with me for the last one with the likes. I don't know how that got so many likes. Let's get this one liked up, please. Like it for Lee's undefeated streak. Detail is saying people watch more Rasmus in the dressing room rather than pitch. He'll be ripped apart versus a decent winger. Well, D, I mean, in all fairness, he did. He got ripped apart by Neto, who is a very, very good winger, by the way, D. And today, I don't think that they had anyone. Was it Gineppo? Gineppo shouldn't be getting the better of you the way he got better Rasmus today. It's a bit of a concern, but not a long-term concern for me yet, because there's still things in there that I like from Rasmus, but he's just got to tighten up a bit on the defensive responsibilities for me. John Knox is saying, on a scorching day like today, you have to make subs around 60 minutes and inject some pace, and especially respond when Saints made the tactical changes. Marsh was slow to respond. And you know what? I'm going to give Jesse some credit because he did respond at half time. He moved Dan James from up front. I never want to see that again. I don't know how many times I've got to say it. I never want to see Dan James up front again. But he moved him from up front for the second half and moved Rodrigo further forward. And it worked. That bit worked. But the game management, I don't know. And it's hot, as so many of you have said, it's hot. It's hot in here. Never mind outside on a football pitch where two teams that are pretty intense with their play are running around a lot. And he didn't put a change on before, a change that was needed before when Southampton were on top. It was very odd to me. But maybe he'll say after why he did that. I don't know. I think I just missed that one from Jeremy. Sorry about that, Jeremy. Lord of the New Church, that telly of mine led a charmed life in the last 20 minutes, KG. I hear you. I hear you. Shout out to Lee Waters, super chat. Thank you for your donation, my man. I admit it wasn't what we wanted, but people saying players are awful. Jesse's clueless, short memories. Support when we win and lose much on Tia KG. Yeah, Lee, I'm the same thing. But I am more of a long-term thinker, which is why I said we need another forward. Even when we had both Gelhardt and Bamford available, we still needed another one. First of all, you have to have competition within the squad. A lot of these players, what was I saying last season for people that were with me last season? A lot of these players were comfortable. A lot of people knew that they were out, they would come straight back in. We can't have that in the team. You need to have people that are nervous for their spots. You have to have it it's necessary in competitive football. And for the last couple of years, we haven't really been competitive in that way because people have known that their spots are just there. But yeah, shout out to you, Lee. Thank you so much. Jared Fletcher. In fact, Jared, it was you, wasn't it, that said, why do we need Dennis if we've got Bamford and Gelhardt? I've got a good memory sometimes. Jared saying, KG, up 2 goals on the road, 60, 70 minutes in, and a draw feels like a loss, honestly. Chat, does it feel like we've lost today? It's interesting because I understand what Jared's saying in terms of when you 2-0 up in the Prem, and we were on top. We were on top until that second drinks break. And then Southampton just turned the screw. And they had some real good passages of play as well, by the way. They had some real good stuff. But I liken that. I think that was more of us having a tired mind. I think Harrison needed to come off. And I do think as well, Harrison before that was brilliant today. I've got to give his credit. For the second week in a row, Jack Harrison was brilliant with his deliveries today. He was running at players, which was good to see. I thought Harrison was good up until he got mentally tired. And it's and again, no heat on them because it's hot out there. It's boiling. So I'm not gonna put that on the players for losing concentration or anything like that. I get it, but I just feel that the changes possibly we could have done a lot more in that. If we'd made changes earlier, I think we would have come away with 3 points. So sorry, I think I just missed that one. Katrina, shout out to Katrina. Our point still adds up, and we have 4 points, way more than this time last season. Fair enough. Stephen LC Harrison was sucking wind. Yeah, he was, and you could see he was asleep for that second goal. It was a beautiful pass, by the way. That pass was wonderful, but he was asleep. That's why Carl Walker-Peters got round and got his first goal. Here we go again. Leeds, we love that, don't we? We love breaking players who just need to get out of a drought. His first goal, since January? Here come Leeds United and Carl Walker-Peters gets in. But Carl Walker-Peters is actually somebody who I did have on my transfer wish list in the summer. I like Carl Walker-Peters a lot. I think he's really good. But yeah, just trust us to give him his first goal since January. Oh no, there was a good comment there. Let me try and get that. Interesting comment here. HVD. We need to understand that maybe Marsh thought that he had his best 11 out there and wanted to keep it for as long as possible. But yeah, after the first goal was time. HVD, that is a beautiful point because I was literally thinking the same thing. When I saw them still on. I thought, does he not trust the subs to come on now and try and stop this way from Southampton? Does he just trust these players that he's got on the pitch more? Is that what it is? HVD, it's a beautiful point because I was thinking the same thing. And again, people in the chat, if you agree or disagree, let us know in the comments as well. And if you're watching the replay, let us know. Liam Moore with a super chat. Shout out to Liam Moore who tried. Listen, that bet was never going to come off once Bamford went off, was it? So shout out to you, Liam, and thanks for the support. We can't keep hold of a leave today. It wasn't a one-off. No, it wasn't a one-off. But you just feel now, I don't know. The way I'm thinking now is that we're going to start the season with 3 games with all 3 scenarios now. I hope not, but I'm thinking we're going to start with a win, draw, and a loss next week. But I really hope not. But we're not going to talk about Chelsea just yet. We'll talk about that next week. So look, Steely Man in the house. That will unnecessarily create a loss of confidence. So absurd. We were all over him until we needed changes that will happen in that heat as well. Make zero sense. I hope it doesn't result in a loss of confidence, Steely Man, because we didn't lose. And yes, there's ways of dropping points, but I would hope that they just see and Jesse sees that. Listen, I didn't do my bit. The players we kind of switched off a bit, but we'll go again. I would hate. Listen, that would be a nightmare. Just think about that. If the players lost confidence because they only got a draw away from home in the Prem, got to be mentally tougher than that. So I hope you're wrong, but listen, we'll see next week. Theo in the house. Best 11 is irrelevant when they're moving in treacle. Did you see how fast Click seemed to be when he came on? Might need to rename that chat mode. Yeah. That's right. Listen, it's not, and again, got to make it clear, it wasn't their fault. It was a very hot day, very, very hot day. But listen, let's just get into some points in the game. No. This is one of the main points. Matt Davis, shout out to you. Silver lining: the clamour for a forward will now have to be accelerated if Bamford has bagged. Because if Bamford had bagged a hat trick, there would have been zero chance. Time to let the moss fry from the kitty. Matt, it's a point I made on the preview. I mean, I was all over the place in the preview, but I said that we can't let short-term things decide how you think long-term. And I even saw it today online where Rodrigo's got 2 goals, and shout out to Rodrigo. You're not getting the remontada today, but very good for being in the right place at the right time. But you can't just keep thinking of short-term solutions. I saw people saying, "Oh, Rodrigo's got 2 goals. Maybe we don't need a striker." That's insane. That again, that is short-term thinking, and it's a lot like how I've got to say the board have been thinking. We've heard the messages over the last couple of weeks that yeah, we're happy with the squad we've got, Bamford and Gelhardt, and then if you want Rodrigo and James. No, man, you've got to be more proactive than that. You have to think, and also as well, you just have to go by patterns. You got to go by what's happened and how things look. And Bamford has been wrapped in cotton wool for how long now? It's been a lot. It's been a while, hasn't it? So you have to just hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Okay, that's the way you've got to do it in the Premier League. Otherwise, you get left behind. You know, you have to plan for the worst and hope for the best instead of the other way around. D Turley. Did we sign Rasmus to make Furpo look better? Listen, it's interesting. You guys watch a lot more content. I'm sure you do. It'll be interesting to see if Rasmus gets a lot of the treatment that Furpo's been getting. It's very interesting to me. Very, very interesting, guys. Paul saying exactly, KG, the board have mainly been reactive. It is. I told you last week when we got the win, I felt, because with us, the more wins we get, the more people just think that we need to stand pat and leave it there instead of thinking, well, we've done this today, but what about if we play a team that might not be under so much internal turmoil like Southampton today and might be a bit better? Instead of thinking that way, we think, well, we've won these 2 games or won this one and drawn another. We're all right. I don't want us to think like that. That's what got us in trouble last season. Leeds Lobby, shout out to you for the super chat, man. Jesse hit it right last week, but got it wrong. Pause on that one. Got it wrong this week. This week we ran out of steam in the 65th minute and badly needed those subs. Yeah, beautifully put, Leeds Lobby. Correct. Convent, I'll predict 16th place. Jason Lee, Southampton are in trouble. I wouldn't take one of their players. I actually do like a couple of their players. Carl Walker-Peters and Lavia. I like both of those 2 players. The rest of them, nah. That's what I'm saying, though. It was a perfect opportunity for us. I just want to get that out as well. It was a perfect opportunity today for us to go 2 for 2. Southampton, there's rumors about the players not wanting their manager. There's their squad isn't good. It is not a good squad. It's not a good team at all. The only time you ever hear James Ward-Prowse is when he's scoring from range. The guy's a very ordinary player, hence why he doesn't get linked with any big clubs. Think about that. When have you ever heard Ward-Prowse being linked with anyone with any legitimacy? You don't, because he's a very ordinary player besides set pieces, which he's excellent at. Hey, listen, strikers, they don't score no goals. Che Adams, Adam Armstrong struggled as well. They're a very ordinary team, and we had them, man, 2-0, and we threw it all away. Matt Davis, Faris Mope, and Dennis, maybe not the ball selective choices, but squad options better than James up top. What I will say is that Mope, I'm not interested in Mope at all. Because the thing is, I probably watch too much football, but Brighton plays so much good football in this league. If they had a proper shooter up front, who knows where Brighton could have finished one of these seasons, because they have been brilliant. It's just that they've got someone like Mope who he like scores in two games and then he's gone missing, or he gets dropped because he hasn't been good. For me, Mope, he can go, but Dennis, we should have been in on that. Teams like us and Everton, who again saw earlier today, awful. Like Gerrard and Lampard were having a mid-off. It was awful football. But they should have been in for Dennis if they could even, afford Emmanuel Dennis. That's what I mean. Leeds, Dennis is the shooter we need. Yeah, I try and say that, man. But people want all this work rate and all this stuff, which Dennis does give you, man. He's not a lazy striker, but it's like the final bit of a striker is not what people are after. They don't want goals. They want work rate and bullying people and everything else like that. We've already got enough of that in the team, people, but we need finishers. And listen, give full credit as well to Rodrigo today. I said Strauch as well at the start of the season should be getting 4 goals from set pieces. Rodrigo took one, but Strauch has to hold that, because as a forward, you've got to get your goals. You have to get your goals. So full credit to Rodrigo. And for people that are saying Rodrigo's second goal was on the line, exactly. That's the whole point. You have to be in the right place at the right time, which is what we haven't been doing over the last year. So full credit to Rodrigo, but keep it going, because he owes us these. He owes us these performances. That's why I'm not giving him the Ramontada tag yet. I need to see it a bit more. So, yeah, good for Rodrigo today. Harrison, I thought Aronson was good in the first 60, but again, Aronson ran out of steam. And this is where I go again for a central midfielder, which we are nowhere near signing. I mean, for me, I don't see us signing anybody at this point in time. I hope I'm wrong now with the Bamford injury, but Aronson goes off. We don't have a like for like with his work rate and with his quality on the ball. We just don't have it. So it's going to be very interesting when he's out, when one of Rucker and Adams is out. The drop off to the bench with some players is a bit too steep for me, but hey, we'll learn. Well, I'm sure we'll learn again. I'm sure we'll learn again. Bobs is saying Dennis is 12.5 plus 7.5 in add-ons. We should have been all over that. Absolutely all over it, people. And everyone's saying that Dennis would have cost 35 million. He's never going to cost that much money. Never. Should be all over a deal like that, but we're not. For whatever reason, we're not. So Shane Leonard is saying our net spend is virtually nil. They need to spend money. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a big net spend guy or anything else like that, but Shane's correct. The money that we've got in has essentially has gone out on the players we've got in without actual any additional expenditure. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The transfer window is not done yet. It's not over, so we'll see what they do. But deals like Dennis, Leeds United should have been on that. But hey, let's go. Paul saying at least the board may now push the boat out for a striker without injuries. Yep. Okay. Yeah. James is saying maybe we need to go for Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is starting for Villa. James, there was those rumors that Ollie Watkins had a row with Steven Gerrard, or they don't see eye to eye. Well, if they don't, then he started him today, and I think Watkins got 2 assists today. So yeah, I don't think that's even going to happen. And if they're not going to spend near 20 million with add-ons for Dennis, they're not going to spend anywhere what Villa will want for Ollie Watkins. Chris Book Brooks, back to Dan James up top. We learn nothing, get a striker. Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. Russ is saying Bamford only limped off because of the weight of his wages he picked up. Oh Lord, Russ, you had me in the first half, Russ. In the last year for Naffle. Fair enough, Russ. I say nothing. I say nothing. Mark Jones is saying, "Hey KG, hope you haven't melted. No, not yet. 4 from a possible 6. Not a bad start. No, it's not. You know, in when you look at the overall picture, it's not a bad start, but it could have been better. You know what I mean? It's one of those. If you don't go 2-0 up, I think you accept it more. Like if we're 1-0 up and then Southampton equalize, we go 2-1 up and then Southampton equalize. I think you'd accept it, but when you're 2-0 up and you're comfortable, playing really well as well, by the way, you just think, that was a. But I said last week, didn't I, people? Let me just quickly get a sip. I said last week with the Wolves game, we're going to win some of these games, like the one against Wolves. We're going to lose some too, but obviously we're going to draw some as well. But this is the kind of football that we're going to be doing this season. It is not going to be plain sailing. Never is for Leeds United, right? But we are going to be one of these where we're going to score some goals, but we're still going to concede. That's just the way it is. But yeah, I hear a lot of people saying it feels like a loss. I completely understand. Completely understand. Yeah, Mark Jones. I think the heat plays a big part in the way we play. To be honest, yeah, definitely affected. Which is why the lack of subs was. I still don't know what's happened with Gelhart yet. I'm gonna try and have a look right now, see if anything's been said. Just bear with me a second. And while I'm looking for that, please hit the like button. Please hit the likes. No, nothing's been said as of yet. Dale saying, I think we will take a lot away from this game. Yeah, there's a lot of learning points to take from this game. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, the first half, I mean, I was saying as well, Llorente, Aaronson Rucker they linked up very well in the first half, especially. I thought they were really good. I thought Aaronson was really good on the ball as well. Not only his energy, but the way he was making some real good passes in there. I thought he was really good. Rucker again, just it looks like a little class act in the midfield, doesn't he? So, and Adams is just there just to do the ugly work, and he did that in the main. But in 15 minutes, Llorente, I know a lot of people were probably holding their breath, but it was a wicked tackle. And again, we're going to get caught like that because we press in bunches, right? We press in bunches, so it's going to leave a defender isolated. But it was a beautiful tackle on Armstrong. There was no doubt in my mind he was ever going to get sent off. It was a real good tackle. So shout out to Llorente. 17 minutes, I noted that Bamford missed a chance that Rodrigo scored for his first goal. Nice cutback by Rodrigo, but Bamford put it wide. And he had another shot earlier where he just hit it. I don't want to be horrible, but he hit it real soft, man. Like it was a real soft shot. I don't know if anyone really saw it or remembers it, but man, like a baby could have hit it harder. And again, maybe that's Bamford just not trusting his body at this moment in time. I don't know. Let me know how you feel, people. Let me know. David Robinson, KG, thoughts on Jonathan David? He wants Premier League. Is he worth a shout? I think Jonathan David, I would love him. David Robinson, beautiful shout. I think he's destined for European football, though. I'm afraid he was on fire in the Champions League last year for Lille. On fire, he was brilliant for them. I just don't think he'd come to Leeds United. If we could go for him, then yeah, do it. Absolutely. But realistically, I don't think we're in the Jonathan David market. Hell, we're not even in the Emmanuel Dennis market. So I don't know. But yeah, he's an outstanding player. And shout out to you for that suggestion. Yeah, Darren thinking the same. Jonathan David wouldn't join us. Yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't. No. But yeah, and then obviously Bamford injured, and then Dan James comes on up front, and you're just thinking, oh no, I've seen this movie before. Sam Jerome signed CDK. Oh, tremendous. James had a good chance. Yeah. Oh yeah, Christian. Yeah, Christensen. Yeah, a positive. Someone was saying positives. Positives is that we looks like we've got set piece tactics, people. That's a good thing. Our set pieces from corners today, we're obviously going for the near post flick and then causing mayhem or finding someone free on the back post. Carry on. That was brilliant. And I was surprised we didn't do it right at the end. We took a short corner instead of doing what was working. I was very disappointed with that at the end, but it looks like we got set piece direction, and that's a good thing because we need more goals from set pieces, which we got today. Let's have a look. Noah Hunt as our new signing. Terry, do not give me those flashbacks. Noah Hunt. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. And this is what I said at halftime. We're a better team. Home fans were disgruntled. Got to take advantage, even with no strikers. Yeah. Well, Rodrigo came our striker. Second half, Harrison, beautiful ball across. Rodrigo, near post finish that Bamford couldn't do. Rodrigo did it. And you're just thinking, come on. 1-0. Come on, let's do it. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. You guys with these suggestions, look at this now. You know what this feels like? You guys are all mentioning players we always used to get linked to in the dark days of the championship. Oh, we need Cameron Jerome. We need Adam Lafandra. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. It's funny though. Shout out to you guys. And obviously, as we said, Jesse got it right. Move Rodrigo up front. Jesse on the right. James on the right. The set piece with the second goal. Strout flick. The safe flick. It was really his goal, but Rodrigo made sure on the line. Brilliant. We've talked about Southampton's goal. And you know what's funny? This is funny, people. Just before the 2-2 goal, I was saying Hassan Hootel has to be on the thinnest of ice. I probably jinxed it. I probably jinxed it, people. And then there you go. 2-2. Mara with a beautiful through ball, by the way. Harrison asleep. KWP slots it past Meslier. First since January. Welcome, Leeds. Yeah. And then we get the substitutions that came late. Later, Mara brings out a brilliant save from Meslier. Yeah. That's it. That's it. You know, we was really good, man, but the subs killed us. Lack of subs killed us. I mean, as you know, as we go on, has anybody got any other points they want to make from the game? Stephen LC, when if Bamford is healthy, would it be better to bring him in as a late sub to hopefully mitigate the injury issue, or are we past that? The problem is, Steve, is that he's being paid. His wages are a starter's pay. In our team, he's a starter. And he's our senior striker, which is more important because wages for me don't really matter how much you get, and you can always be a sub. But he is seen as our main man. Jesse has said that. Can we bring him on a sub? But who's starting? Because Gelhardt wasn't available today either. He wasn't available either. So again, that's why we need another forward. But listen, I can only say so much, and I hope a lot of people appreciate when I say these things like this, because I do look at things a little long term, which isn't always good as a football fan. It's a little bit sometimes too sensible, but I do see things long term. I don't just see it as we've got Gelhardt and Bamford fit. That's it. They're going to stay fit between them for 38 games. No, I'm thinking, well, when both of those guys are out, who's going to go up front? Or when Rocker and Adams both don't start a game, is it going to be Forshaw that starts next to him? You know what I mean? But listen, everyone looks at football different ways. It's all good, and that's why we do this, isn't it? That's why we got opinions. That's why we love the game most of the time. Russ is saying the thing is though, KG, you could see it coming. Yeah, in terms of the goals, yeah, absolutely, you could see it coming. Let's have a look. Yeah, Tim Bamford, the new Darren Anderton. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, and I'm not really talking about personally for Bamford because, quite frankly, I mean, personally, he's done very well from his first stint in the Premier League with us. But as a team, we're not getting what we're paying for in Bamford at this moment in time. Is he? I mean, Roscoe here saying Bamford is a liability now. He's unreliable. He's unreliable. I don't know. Is he a liability, people? You let me know. You let me know. Yeah, Jared is making a point. Is anyone surprised about Bamford? He's made of glass, always has been. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Darren Wong is saying, I really like Rucker, Adams, Aronson in the middle. Very good balance and competitive. I do too. I do too, Darren. I think it's brilliant. And that's another thing I was noticing as well when we was on top in the first half, especially. I was just like, it was nice to have a midfield again. It was nice to have a midfield that's competitive. It's nice to have a midfield that know how to do something with the ball. Brilliant. But we needed changes in the second half. But hey, I mean, Pete here. Pete, let me just get your comment, mate. Pete is saying only so many signings we can make, can't buy a whole team. Yeah, I mean, listen, Pete, you can't buy a whole team. That's true, but you can also make changes or make moves to get better players in the door. And Pete, what I mean by that is we've already got rid of our two best players. They're already gone. You can now make changes in other areas, but I still think that there's some reluctance from the board to get rid of some of these old players. I still think that they're still quite attached to them, and that's why we won't see replacements. We should be replacing more of them, and you can do it. It can be done, but it's just how much ambition have you got? I mean, I don't want to compare us to Forest because we should be uh, 2 years ahead of Forest in the whole Premier League thing because we've been here 2 more years. But you can see with Forest when they don't want a player anymore, they did it with Joe Lally. They said, "Listen, Joe, thanks for everything, but you got to go and train with the kids now." I don't know if our board or manager have got the cojones to do it to some of the long-standing players here. That's the problem for me. That's the problem. A lot of you saying Bamford can go. Wow. Ooh, interesting, man. Things turn game to game, man. Things turn game to game. Because this wasn't being said last week, but hey, Danny Boy saying Bamford gone. Tane, you got to stop this, man. You're giving me what is this? Release Bamford, sign Makeda. Wow. Katrina, Paddy needs to harden himself up. Katrina, what I will say to that though is he's been injured long term. It's always going to play in your mind when you get some kind of niggle or some kind of pull that maybe, am I going to be out again? So hopefully, guys, this is just precautionary. That's all I hope for at this moment in time. I hope it's precautionary why Bamford left the pitch today, but we'll see. But I hear what you're saying. He does need to toughen up, but you got to also think of the mental aspect too of come back from very tricky and serious injuries too. So I'll give him some bail there. But as a team, as a club, yeah, we probably do need to move on. Seven psychopaths, tremendous. I'm a Bamford fan, but how's he already injured? He missed most of last season, and this was something that me and Connor were discussing in a group chat. Oh, I think we actually mentioned it on the debrief as well. Is because I asked him how many games do you see Bamford playing, and I've got him down as I don't know if he's even going to make 20. Um, and he thinks around. I think it was around 15. Don't quote me on that. But regardless of that, to think that your main striker is only going to play 20 in a 38 game Premier League season is not it, and that is why you need another forward. Uh, Jared saying KG, our team isn't that far ahead of Forest. We did nothing last summer. Yep, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I hear that. Julio, is it Julio or Julio? I'm sorry if I butchered that. Would you bring in one matter on a free transfer? 100% I would. I've never wavered from that either. One matter in this kind of team would be so important, especially to the younger players. Just the experience, the winning experience, the know-how. Yeah, absolutely. I would take one matter, but again, I don't think it's even a real rumor. I don't think it's even real. Kieran's just saying, I was never sure about Bamford. I think he kept his chance from the first season in the Prem. That's why we bought Rodrigo to replace him when we first went up. Yeah, I thought Rodrigo was going to be competition, but then again, Rodrigo, whenever I saw him play for Valencia, had always played off the left. He'd always played off the left, attacking midfield. I'd never seen him play as a striker there, but yeah, I thought he was going to be competition, but we'll see. We'll see. So we just have to see what happens between now and the end of the window. I am concerned with the depth of the squad. I have been for a while though, but again, if we are reactive, like I say we are, maybe we will go and sign somebody now. Forbidden Forest smoothie to cool the smoothie. Yeah, it is kind of warm still, but thank you so much for the super chat, Forbidden Forest. Just rocking with apple juice today. This good old apple juice. Oh, let me see, Scooby. You said something here. Let me try and get your comment back. Lost it. Too many. I've lost it, Scooby. Callum66 is saying, love Bamford, but he's made of glass as a main striker in the Premier League. Not good enough. Interesting, man. Oh, here we go. I think I got you, Scooby. Don't be harsh with Paddy. He's always been a workhorse. He'll run until he drops. I salute him and slap Jesse in the board. Wow, that last bit just came out of nowhere, Scoob. But no, listen. Yeah, the workhorse thing is cool. It is, but Scooby, what do you do if you every time he's on the pitch, you're thinking, God, I hope he lasts the 90 minutes today. I hope that he doesn't go down injured today. I hope he can move around better than a OAP. And shout out to all the OAPs that watch me. Please don't take that personally. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean in context. The movement today, as you just before he was coming off, he was moving so slow, so slow. It was painful to watch. So that's all I would say to that, Scooby, is if you can't rely on him anymore, where do we go from there? Let's have a look. Katrina, I dare not go on Twitter. It's going to be toxic. I'd never do it. I follow specific timelines on Twitter. I don't use general Twitter. Haven't done for quite a while. Julio, got you. Julio, got you. Right. I'm an OAP. As I say, I love. No offense. Shout out to all of you guys. But yeah, listen, people. As we wrap up, please get your last comments in on the live chat, and then obviously after the video, put them in the comments on the video, and of course, I'll read them and everything else like that. And like the video, that's the most important thing as well. Like the video, that's the best thing. In closing today, I would say that it is 2 points dropped. I would definitely go there. It's definitely 2 points dropped in being 2-0 up and being in control as well. That's the most important thing. We were playing real good football. We was in control. Subs weren't made at the right time. We let them back in the game and didn't stop them getting on top of us. Pause. And listen, we'll have to go again next week against Chelsea, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how we get on next week. I think Jesse would have learned some lessons today from the lack of subs. I think that would have happened, and we'll see. Listen, I'm closing up in a bit because I think we've gone over everything in the game. But Tolkien saying people too quick to hammer players. Paddy being injured long term, let him get back to full fitness, then judge. Memories like fishes. He was one of the main reasons we finished ninth in our first season. But yeah, Tolkien, I'm absolutely boiling here. Tolkien, you're not telling any lies there. He was one of the main reasons why he finished ninth. But how long do we go on that for, Ken? That's the only question I'd ask, because that's touching 2 years ago now. So if he's not that same guy anymore, if he's not going to give us that again, who's to say that wasn't an outlier? Because we saw him in the season of the championship where he only got 16 in that team, and people forget how good our football was in the championship. We were creating charts after charts in the championship. We was unbelievable in the championship, and he only got 16. Whereas Carlin Grant, who finished 16th with Huddersfield, got 19. So that's what I would say to you. Is that 17 goal season his new norm, or was it a one-off? The OAPs. I should never have said that. Yeah, shout out to all the OAPs, man. It's all good. But the thing is, I got a wide range on here. It's mad the ranges, not only from all over the place, but the age range from people that watch. It's crazy. It's everyone, which is beautiful. It's brilliant for me. I absolutely love it. Michael, shout out to you with the super chat. People are being extremely negative, but if you look at the positives, Leeds controlled the game, which never happens, and goals off set pieces. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of you saying Paddy was a one-off. Put it in the comments on the video as well. I'm just going to quickly check and see if Jesse's spoken yet. Let me just have a look. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hassan Hootle. Let me give you Hassan Hootle. And this is from Phil Hay. So shout out to Phil Hay. Hassan Hootle. I'm sorry that we destroyed a few headlines, which maybe we were written at the moment 2-0 down. It was a good comeback. When you're 2 down, you go all in and go for everything. Hey, listen, man, he's fighting back. I respect it. Marsh. This is from Jesse Marsh. It's a terrible feeling to play well and walk away what feels like less than 1 point. Okay, feels like we lost, but that's also progress for us to be disappointed with a point. It's always in my mind how to be glass half full. The group is making progress. Of course, there is a couple of changes that I'm looking back on and thinking I could have made them earlier and manipulate the game with guys off the bench. So he is saying that. And he's saying that Gelhardt has a dead leg. Both him and Bamford are expected to train next week. So so it looks like it's nothing long term, but again, it's just not reliable. It's just not reliable. Marsh on signing a striker, I think it's something we need to continue to evaluate. I mean, he said something, but he said nothing. You know what I mean? He said something, but you said nothing. And then lastly, let's have a look. Marsh doesn't think Bamford's injury is too bad. It's an abductor issue, okay? Says he felt pain and they were being sensible by replacing him. If it's a cup final, I think he keeps playing. Yeah. You see, I understand that. I definitely get that, but damn, how many of these precautionary games are we going to get this season then? Let's have a look. Yeah, the Brentford Brighton game's on. Let's have a look. Who scored? Josh Da Silva. Damn, 4.5 million FPL. Damn, didn't have him. But listen, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. And shout out to everyone that's participated in the chat today. Leave your comments on the video afterwards, and listen, I'll be back at some point next week with a video of some sort, I'm sure. Hopefully it's a new signing video too. That'll be great. Like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, man. Keep it locked in with me here. And yeah, listen, we're still undefeated, 2 games, no losses yet. We go again against Chelsea next week. Peace out, people. Have a good weekend.